Yeah, all right, man. More feeling, buddy. Yeah, step up to it. Friday night, I just got off work. My boss man, he's such a jerk. So after work, I went to his house, ate his wife's pussy and kicked his ass. Eating pussy and kicking ass.
Eating pussy and kicking ass.
Eating pussy and kicking ass.
Eating pussy and kicking ass.
That's what I do. That pussy tastes good. Monday morning I got laid off, so I celebrated with some alcohol. Standing in the unemployment line, I see this young girl's bush and said it's breakfast time. Security guard said you can't do that here, so I kicked him in the nuts before I drank a beer. Girl at the counter said, do you want a job? And I said, okay, and then I ate her pussy. Eating pussy and kicking ass.
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 That's what I do. Pussy in the morning,
Sure.
pussy in the night.
Yeah.
I eat a lot of pussy and then I get into a fight. Yeah, alright. Like that groove. Thursday night I was feeling pretty great. I was walking past the honky tonks on Broadway. I see this young girl, she smiled at me, so I took her back to my place and I paid the fee. Took off the skirt, I knew that something was wrong. Well, there's supposed to be a pussy, this girl had a dong. I was bored, and since I'd paid anyway, I sucked his dick, and then I kicked his ass. Sucking dick, and kicking ass.
Sucking dick, kicking ass.
That's right. Sucking dick, and kicking ass.
Sucking dick, kicking ass.
Eating pussy, sucking dick, and kicking ass. Come on, buddy.
Pussy sucking dick and kicking ass.
Eating pussy, sucking dick, and kicking ass.
Eating pussy sucking dick and kicking ass.
God damn it! Fucking play, motherfucker! Where'd everybody go?
They went
God
to go.
damn it.
They went to go suck some dick and kick some ass. Eat some pussy and kick some ass. All that and above. All that. Welcome. This is a special episode of One by One. I'm gonna release it on the weekend here, so you guys can hear it whenever the fuck you want. Been trying to stick to the whole release on like a Wednesday thing, but you know, for me, for my podcast, it's not really about the numbers. I know you gotta try and like, you know, release it on the right date at the right time and get as many numbers as you can in, and that way you can get some like, you know, sponsors and shit like that. I got Audible. I'm pretty sure I have Audible. I'm not sure what the hell the damn code is once you log on. I got the emails back and shit from them, but never actually read them all the way. I guess I should do that because audiobooks are pretty fucking cool. And if I wasn't listening to podcasts all day, I'd definitely listen to an audiobook. So here's your plug, Audible. Your first one-by-one plug. Audible.com/1by1. That's what I'd like it to be. I don't know. /1by1. Whatever. I'm excited as hell. We recorded this last night after I got done work, and I was nervous. I'll have to say, this is my second, like, kind of big interview, you know. I had comedian Ian Edwards on last month, and that was fucking awesome. He turned out to be cooler than I thought he was. Just, the conversation went really well, and I'm having fun with this. It's fucking exciting. And I was nervous calling this guest that you're about to hear, who you should know who it's going to be by that song in the beginning. But right away, I was just put into a chill, relaxed mode. He wanted to talk shop for a little bit about the podcast and the equipment and stuff. So that kind of put me at ease, and it helped out a lot. And then we got into shit. I had some notes that I wrote down that I wanted to ask him about. First time I heard about this guy was on the Joe Rogan Experience last April or June or something like that, when his first record came out, Redneck Shit. And I thought it was hilarious. I thought his appearance on there was great. And then recently he was on the Church What's Happening Now. And another cool experience, or cool guest experience. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, man. I don't know what I'm talking about, man. He's got me talking all southern and shit. But he's coming out with a new album the day before my baby's due date. Due date's June 3rd. His album's coming out June 2nd. And his name is Wheeler Walker Jr. So please give it up for old Wheeler.
Drop 'em out, let me see them titties. Gonna take a long look at those tiggle bitties. Areolas looking nice, nipples looking real pretty. Come on, let me get her at your boobs. Drop 'em out, let me see them knockers. Gonna take a long look at those big ham hockers. Just squeeze them together while I play with my cocker. Come on, let me get her at your boobs.
Hello?
What's up, man?
What's going on, dude?
How you doing, Wheeler?
Pretty good, man. How we on? We recording?
Yeah, brother. It's all set
Wow.
up, and I just got the level just from that first couple words, so we're all good.
What yeah, I'm doing a podcast too. I think you know.
Yeah.
What program are you using? Let's talk shop here for a second.
Cool. Yeah. Right now, I just have a MacBook, and it's got GarageBand on it, and I have it's a little interface. It's like got two microphone inputs on it, and
Oh, you just hook one up through the phone?
yeah, I got one microphone cable that's like a XLR on one side, and on the other side it's like a guitar size. And then I got a little extension to make it the 1/8 inch for the phone. Goes right into the headphone jack.
Oh, sweet. You know, my manager put mine together. He has he had downloaded on my MacBook this program that records phone calls.
Oh,
It's pretty cool. You can do it
That's
all on
cool.
your computer.
yeah. I don't know. I learned doing all this crap just looking up on YouTube videos, you know.
Yeah, man, you can fucking learn anything on a YouTube video. On one of my podcasts, not to keep talking about myself, but
No, I
had
like
Bill Burr on. He was talking about how like he thinks musicians are better nowadays because they can just watch, those YouTube videos. And I wonder if that's true because
I think so. It
You know,
would
'cause
have
I-
helped me back in the day because I've been playing guitar since I was like 14.
yeah, you know what? That's probably how old I was when I got started. And I don't mean to say this in a joking way, but it's true. My guitar teacher killed himself, and then I'm like, what the
Oh,
fuck do I
wow.
do now? That's probably why I have an original guitar sound. Is because obviously I had to teach myself because.
Damn.
Yeah, it
pretty-
was.
That's pretty deep.
Well, I got a call saying my lesson was canceled. I was like, what the
Holy shit.
tell that fucker I want to learn how to I felt like I was on a roll at the time.
Yeah,
know?
like what the fuck?
In all honesty though, it was kind of my first I don't even like I said I don't mean to make light of it, but it was my first kind of look into the world of music. Because I remember, being a guitar teacher in Lexington, Kentucky, where I'm from, is, not the greatest job. But I remember that he was in a wedding band, I think, kind of like a Doobie Brothers type band. And
Yeah.
remember, because at that age, all I cared about was music. I just wanted to play music. And I remember thinking to myself, as long as you have a gig and you can play and pay the rent, you're probably happy, Because I remember thinking this guy teaches, little shits like me, and he plays in a wedding band. He still seems happy.
Yeah.
And then 1 week later, I'm like, oh, you know what? Maybe not.
Yeah, I guess shit gets old, dude. I mean, for anything that you do repeatedly, I've been doing a
Yeah, I
lot
mean,
of
listen, he's been. I'm sure it was deeper than that, but you know what I
oh,
mean.
fuck yeah. But just like I don't know. I've been doing I do live sound like in the area for like a lot of cover bands.
And what's your area again? We should let the listeners know that we
Oh,
don't know each other that well, but a lot of the times when people, you do some of the artwork of some of the podcasts I've been on,
yeah.
but we don't know each other that well. But a lot of the times when people reach out to me and we have mutual friends, I don't even ask questions. They just say, "Do you want to be on the podcast?" And I just go, "Sure."
Yeah, it's fucking cool, man.
Yeah, that's my thing is with this new kind of technology. It's like some dude there's a guy, Jehovah, who has like a ton of YouTube followers.
Hmm.
He plays video games on YouTube, and he goes, "I've never done a podcast, but I want to do one. Would you be my first guest?" I'm just like, "Why the fuck? Yeah, I'm sitting at home. I ain't doing shit." So I just did it. It's like,
Yeah, it's easy. It's like just like this. It's just like calling somebody on the phone now.
yeah. I mean, I don't know that. I think he said the video got like 30,000 views, which is probably low for YouTube, but that's still a lot of people for me sitting on my couch.
Fuck yeah.
I'll take it.
Was it a video one that you did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm still working on that shit. It's really just I have to save up and buy enough like RAM space for the video itself to be saved on my shit,
Yeah. How does Rogan do it? I know, is it just because I've never seen them set up cameras? Is it probably all just like GoPros or maybe it's got all?
I don't know. He's got all digital cameras around.
Yeah, because I know they're switching the cameras while you're in there. So
yeah, that's young Jamie. I haven't gotten to his status yet.
You'll get there, man.
Or Lee, really. I kind of learned from
I'll tell
listening
you what,
to Lee a lot from the
I'll
church.
tell you what, man. You may not want Lee's job. I mean, I'm telling you, man. Joey's gonna kill that guy.
I know.
I just shot a letter, to Joey. Actually, I think it was yesterday. Just because I honestly didn't know his work that well,
Yeah.
and then I became a big fan, and then I did the podcast, and I mean, what I kind of told, he's like my favorite comedian now. He's just
Yeah.
he was as fucking funny off the air as he was on, and I also told him, I just want to let him know how much fun I had doing his podcast, and I had so much. The part he laughed at was I think I had as much fun listening to him talk as I did, watching Lee slowly die.
I know every episode, dude. Somebody says something about Lee looking like he's not not awake and shit.
Yeah, well, I was just
Those fucking edibles are no joke, man.
Yeah, well, he takes the bait too. They're just and Joey yells at him for not eating enough.
Yeah.
And he looked at me. He looked fucking Chinese, man. And I thought he was dead. And then I was just like thinking about it because it was a long podcast, probably a couple hours. I'm like, there's no way this fucker recorded that whole thing.
Yeah.
But I think it aired already, so he must have hit record.
Yeah, it's recorded somewhere. He could at least download it back from like YouTube or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
dude.
And then apparently it was live on YouTube, but didn't even air on YouTube. I don't know if I don't think that was Lee's fault.
Oh, really? I don't know.
Maybe it was. I don't.
Usually, because where I am, like you guys did that in LA with them, but like I'm all here in Jersey, so you guys went on at like 8, and it's like 11 here. And it's like what, like a Sunday or Monday that you did it? I forget. I was just listening to it.
Probably a Monday, yeah.
Yeah. Dude,
yeah, so that was one of the ones where because I got a little fucked up too. I mean, for me, I'm trying to cut back a little on the weed, and I tend not to like this. I tend not to want to smoke weed on like radio or podcasts or anything, just because I'm like I want to stay kind of focused, but
Yeah.
but with Joey, you can't not do it. So I was like, man, that was embarrassing. And then I got a bunch of people tweet me like that podcast was awesome. So maybe I should smoke weed for all of them.
Yeah, right. Did you do any of the edibles?
Did
you ever do them?
I mean, I have. I didn't want to do it. The problem with the edibles at a podcast, I think, which obviously didn't work for Lee, is like it sucks because it's not going to hit me till it takes a while for them to kick in for me.
Yeah, at least half hour, 45 minutes for me.
Yeah, well, but for Lee, it must take like 3 seconds. But yeah, because I was like, I don't want to take an edible because I don't want to leave here and then get fucked up.
Yeah, that's true. Because it lasts a while. I met Joey like a handful of times, like the past couple of years as he's came over to like the East Coast. I'm in Jersey, like kind of near like where Philly and Jersey meet.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I'm out in L.A. right now doing some press, and I live in Nashville. But you know what's funny? I literally I don't think I've ever been to New Jersey before in my life.
Really?
I mean, you know what? I think actually, you tell me. I think it's possible I've flown, and I haven't, and honestly, I haven't been to New York City much, but I do think I've flown.
You've flown over it, yeah.
No, I'm wondering if is it possible that I would have flown to Newark to go to New York?
Oh yeah, definitely. There's Newark Airport's like right across the river.
Yeah, I put so that's probably the only time I've been to Jersey is I flew into it and drove out.
Yeah, I only been
people
up
get
there
that
once.
mistake in Kentucky, my hometown. I actually, when I fly home, sometimes I'll fly to Cincinnati. People don't realize that the Cincinnati airport's actually in Kentucky.
Really?
Yeah. So it's a good trivia question.
Yeah, fuck yeah. I only been to New York one time, which was last year, and I went to Gotham to see Joey. And
Wait a second, you live in Jersey? You've only been to New York once?
Well, in high school, I went up to like the Statue of Liberty for like a field trip, but that was about it. Yeah.
Oh, really? You
I've
don't
never
move
been to
around
the
too
city
much, huh?
before. No, I lived here, and then I had to move to Florida for like 4 years when I was in like 6th, 7th, 8th grade.
So what city you live in again?
I
You don't want to. Do you not
it's
want to
called
say on the air?
Voorhees. It's called Voorhees.
Voorhees?
Yeah,
I don't know that.
Voorhees, New Jersey.
Yeah. Any music there?
A lot of cover bands.
Yeah. Well, so the answer is no.
Pretty much not really. There's like a little scene in Philly of like, hard rock. There's a lot of like rap and like, underground shit, but that's about it. It's like, it's pretty fucking dead around here, and it has been since I was in high school, and it sucks. And I never really left, I tried to be in bands for like a long time, but they just never fucking worked out.
Yeah, that's what I always didn't like about my hometown was just like, and I'm not sure how much it's true because I was like, I got to move to a city where there's more musicians who get what I'm doing. Then you go to like Nashville, like it's like, and there, it's kind of a little bit of both. It's like there's more musicians who are into, that are into what I'm doing, but there's also way more musicians who are into the exact opposite.
Yeah, yeah.
So there's way more good people, but there's also way more shitty people, and the shitty people are the ones who are making it. So it's just, I'm not sure that. You know what I mean? I like Nashville's a different place for me than it is for a lot of people because my mom is from Nashville, and so it still is kind of home to me. So most of my mom's family's there. So if I just I'm just trying to think like, if I'd give someone advice, to do what I'm doing. I'm not sure that you would need to go to that,
Yeah.
the way I do it, releasing it kind of independently. And if you get the right producer, I think is the main thing. If you, and the right, if you got a good album, people are going to hear it. You don't need any of this other shit anymore, I don't think.
Yeah, with the technology we got, man. Just like with these fucking podcasts, it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, like, well, that was my breakthrough, which I've talked about before on different podcasts that I've done. Was my breakthrough on the first record was, it was not, again, it wasn't a thought out fucking thing. It was just like, fuck, I made this dirty record, and I didn't think about it later. It's like, just start booking me on shit, and everyone was like, no. And the only people who would have me were podcasts, and I started going on these podcasts, and we started selling records. I'm like, wait a second, these podcasts are pretty fucking popular,
Fuck yeah.
Because you don't think about it, but you go to a radio station in Nashville, it's just like you're reaching one city. You go to a podcast, you're reaching, Rogan's podcast made my album shoot up in Australia, which I didn't even know my album was sold in Australia.
Wow.
I mean, it's worldwide, yeah.
Yeah, it is, man. It's crazy.
I wonder if my podcast will be worldwide. I don't even know.
Yeah, it has to. It has to be.
Is everything in the podcast store?
Do you know if you're doing it on like what site you're going to be hosting it with? Because I use Libsyn.
My manager set it up. I don't know.
All right. Well, whatever one you look at, usually they'll have like stats and all that kind of shit, depending on your fucking plan and all that shit. So I'm sure you'll have a good one, and
Yeah,
you get to see where everybody is that is listening.
Oh,
to
that's
it.
cool.
Yeah.
They said it was $12 a month, and I'm like, if I can reach even a decent amount of people for $12 a month, I mean, again, back to it's like, oh, with this shit, you just got the way to make money making music, which I'm not the guy to ask, even though I just kind of asked myself, was because I somehow did pretty well and still haven't really made a profit, but you just got to figure out how to keep those costs low because. I tried to keep the cost of the album down. I mean, touring is what gets you because touring is unfortunately where you make your money, but also, where if you don't make money, it's also where you spend it too.
Yeah, with all the shit you gotta lug around,
It's like four fucking dudes, and they all need hotels, they all need food, or they all want food,
Yeah.
and a place to sleep. So and a van and all this shit. So.
Yeah, I never got to do the tour thing. When I first started the podcast, well, into the first year that I was doing it, I was supposed to go on tour with one of my friend's bands. But it just ended up, they were going
Tour doing what? Doing sound or playing?
Well, actually, I was going to be like a guitar tech, and then I was going to do like podcasts like through the tour, like on tour.
Well, they must be okay if they can afford a guitar tech, or they're just blowing their money.
Well, I mean, they were only it was like a week tour, maybe a couple days. I forget exactly how long it was. And at first I was going to do it for nothing, and then they offered to give me like $250. But they were going on tour with this band from fucking the 90s called Hinder. And they got into like a tour bus crash like the week before they were supposed to go on tour with them.
Oh man, you know what? Some friends of mine from my hometown in Kentucky moved out to LA with their band, and they were in. It's a true story. They were in Bob's Big Boy, and they saw Josh Homme from Queens of the Stone Age.
Mm-hmm.
And they just walked up to him. He was eating. They go, "Sorry to interrupt, man, but here's our album if you want to take a listen." And like 2 months later, they got a call from an agency saying that they got an offer to open up for Queens of the Stone Age.
Wow.
They thought it was a prank call. They're like, "Who is this?" They're like, "It's William Morris, the William Morris Agency, and we, Josh Homme heard your record. He's a big fan. Wants you to open up their new tour."
Damn.
Yeah, probably a bad story. Might give people too much hope.
No, it's good to hear shit like that because you don't really hear how some people like make it, or
it was
at least get a
badass,
shot.
I thought it was a badass move by him. He didn't research him or just, hey, this record sounds good. Call him up.
Yeah. Fucking, I was gonna ask you about your thoughts on the sorry state of country music at this time. Do you think it's been going on for a while? Like,
yeah, I mean, it really fucking has. Are you a country fan at all? I don't know.
Well, like, you saw that one tweet I posted. Your album was the first country album I bought.
Yeah, I get a lot of people who say that, which I'll take as a compliment.
Yeah,
but,
man. Because I'm not a country music fan, technically. Like, from when I started listening to music as a teenager till now. But, like, I've since doing the sound and doing one of the bands is like a country cover band called South.
You know what's interesting is me and Dave Cobb, who produced my album, he's done a bunch of big albums too. Is I would say even probably Sturgill and Stapleton, same thing. Is we all kind of grew up, not because you kind of ignore whatever's around you, not listening to that much country, and then you kind of discover it a little bit later. I mean, Cobb was a rock guy. And he's from Georgia, and he actually auditioned for the Black Crowes when he was a teenager.
Yeah.
And they all kind of, I think what happens is if you're from the South, maybe sometimes like guys like us is when you'll hear country and other people will like it, you'll go, that's my music. So all of a sudden you take, you kind of take ownership of it, but
yeah,
when I was like a teenager and shit, I used to always hate it. And then I got older, and as a music fan, and more kind of hard rock and not that shit. I just something like Waylon Jennings comes, you started listening to that, and you're like, wait, this is fucking, heavier than anything I'm fucking listening to, and it sounds fucking great. And these songs are so, you realize what I always like to say is just like this shit, it kind of ain't made for kids.
Yeah, definitely not.
Like George Jones, who's one of my favorites. I love him. Like I don't know that I would have understood George Jones really when I was in high school. He's not singing to high schoolers. I don't think.
Oh, definitely not. I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Every time I meet like the guy who played guitar on my record, this guy Leroy. I had this talk with him once before, and he's just like, "Oh man, I loved Waylon as a kid," which is I always find impressive because I don't know any kids who listen to Waylon. It's kind of a badass move, but
Yeah.
he I believe it because he's such an amazing musician. Like it kind of explains how he got his sound. Anyone who listens to Waylon Jennings at that age must have been pretty heavy into that shit, pretty early. So, like I said, I think it's all the good. I mean, to kind of answer your question, it is pretty much dead. It's pop shit, and what happens is, I guess what pisses me off is the real shit comes around. Like one of my favorite artists, Sturgill Simpson. I don't know if you heard him, but
yeah, I heard him from Joe, really, Rogan.
Oh yeah, Rogan has him on a lot, and he he had a kind of huge year, Grammys and stuff.
Oh yeah.
But he kind of, to me, he was kind of the breakthrough of that stuff. But even then, he kind of did it outside the system, and country music, the industry really has just ignored him. I mean, he won the Grammy for Country Album of the Year, and then the Country Awards came along, and he wasn't even invited. So it's like they don't even want to admit that there's people outside of the quote unquote country world that are doing it, without their help. So,
Yeah.
Is it dead? Yeah, because the people who are doing it, like same thing with Jason Isbell. He won a Grammy a couple of years ago, and he don't get nominated for shit. I don't know. I'm not trying to make it sound like it's all about awards, but
Yeah.
it's like for the guys who are good to make it, you got to kind of make it outside the system, because it's just become pop, It's fucking. That's my biggest problem with it, and I always get into shit because I'll name band. I'm the only guy out there naming artists who suck, and it's a small town, so they can find me pretty easily. So such and such manager will call up, leave these fuckers alone. I'm like, I ain't leaving fuck anybody alone. But yeah, it's become, and then they take that, then they think I'm like, I actually like good pop music, because they think I hate that. Like there's pop music I like, but my issue is just don't call it fucking country,
Yeah, they're not even like saying like country pop or something like that,
Yeah, but I still feel like, I don't know if, and again, you're kind of an outsider, but to me, like the pop artists that make it the country artists that make it these days are almost like the minor leagues of pop. They're like, hey, you're not pretty enough to compete with, maybe Taylor Swift, bad example because she was in country, but you're not pretty enough to compete with Adele and all these other people, or you don't have a good enough voice, but country's a smaller pool, so maybe we'll just put out this same shitty record, but just call it country,
Yeah.
and you'll be big in that world. Because I remember, it's like, because I just love the sounds of, I love, you'll meet these. I mean, one of my favorite instruments, I don't know how to play it, and I kind of don't want to because it's better not to know. I think in some ways, I just love the pedal steel, the sound of it.
Yeah, that's
so
cool.
When I hear that pedal steel sound, it's like, oh, we're listening to country music now, and I don't know, you're gonna hear, if you listen to country radio nowadays, I don't know how much pedal steel you're gonna fucking hear.
Yeah. Well, this band that I do the sound for, they have like a fucking fiddle player and like 2 guitar players. One of them is fucking badass on the leads and stuff. And they play the songs like really fucking well, and I started to appreciate them just as a musician, as a person that likes music, that never really liked country music. My aunt got me into rock music back when like the Black Album came out, Metallica. And
oh yeah. I mean, it's funny to hear these people like talk about the Black, because I was older when that came out.
Yeah, I was like, fucking,
I saw them play it a few times. They're fucking great.
That was 91, so at that time
Yeah,
I was only 10.
that's pretty fucking far from country. But no, you know what
Well, but then she went into country after that, and I
I
was
was
like,
gonna say I thought maybe they did some country covers, but I'm thinking maybe they did like Bob
well, they
Seger.
did go country a little bit on some of their shit off that
Probably-
Load album, the one.
Oh
like,
yeah,
couple after
but I
the
was thinking
Black
about
album.
something else. I was wrong. I was thinking they did Turn the Page, right? Which that's not country, but you know,
It's kind of close to it. It's got a little.
Bob
twang
Seger.
to
You know,
it.
it's like classic rock, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and I always say that country is really the last place where you can see. That's what kills me is these pop players doing country where they just play to like a track. Because part of the good thing about country is it's the last place to see great players playing now.
Yeah.
You know,
Some of
can
the
really
cover
see
bands
bad-
have backing tracks around here, dude. It's crazy.
how the fuck? Why would the fuck do you have a cover band? You know, that's not even
know.
a. It's like it's a cover track.
Yeah. But hey, I don't know. They put on a good
Yeah,
show.
but
I
yes,
guess.
some of the. What's a good show? Can you, Matt? By the way, yeah, wash your mouth out, man. They put on a good show. A cover band will use backing track.
I know it's fucking ridiculous. We don't really work with those bands, but we know.
I was gonna
of
say,
them.
but is that even considered music?
Well, it's like they got like the fucking.
I mean, that's
guitars
that's
recorded.
That's karaoke, though.
It really is. I know.
If you're doing cover songs to a track, that's karaoke. That's the definition of karaoke.
I know. But it's their own karaoke because they recorded it themselves. You know.
But why do they even waste their time? Just play the original fucking track.
So they can get drunk at the fucking bar and not have to play their guitars. Just fucking sing as good as they can. You know. That's my guess. I don't know.
I don't know. It's just it sounds a little half baked to me, but whatever.
Yeah, it's funny, but even rock music though is like how you're saying the country music is with the pop and shit. Like,
Well, that's the thing too. Is I try to keep up with all kinds of music. Like, what would be considered like a modern day like rock band that's doing well? Obviously, Metallica's still out there doing it, but like,
well, I mean, Foo Fighters has been doing well for fucking ever, dude. And they're
Yeah, that's
like
true.
they're more rock though. Like, but Dave Grohl writes a really good fucking poppy song, you know? It's like
Chris Shiflett, their guitar player, I did his podcast. He just did a country record. I don't know how.
oh really? That's cool.
The Foo Fighters guitar player. I don't know how country it is, but it sounds it's a little more kind of like a country kind of rocking. There's a band where I first got introduced to it. I grew up in Kentucky. There's a band from Owensboro called 9 Pound Hammer. They're one of my favorite bands of all time, and they would do punk. They're a punk band, but they were they're real kind of rednecks. And what I loved about them was they didn't hide the fact that they were rednecks, and they would play like Ramones style shit, but kind of have like a twang to it. And eventually they would just start cover. They were like, fuck it. They would just start covering country songs, but playing in like Ramones style.
Oh wow.
So the first time I heard Folsom Prison Blues by Johnny Cash was when 9 Pound Hammer played it. I thought it was a fucking Ramones song. I didn't know. And those guys just loved Waylon and loved Johnny Cash and loved Hank Williams and all that shit. And I kind of got introduced to country through punk. They called it cowpunk at the time.
Cowpunk.
And they were kind of the first band who did it. And
yeah, now they call it like
and they do. That's the guitar player went on to form this band called Nashville Pussy.
Yeah, I definitely heard of them.
And they got nominated for a Grammy a few years ago.
No shit. My friend used to
Just
listen to them back in fucking high school.
Yeah, they're killer too, but it's just crazy the idea of a band named Nashville Pussy even being at the Grammys.
I know, right? Like, why the fuck aren't you there then? You know?
Yeah, exactly. But no, that was cool. Yeah, so yeah, I would. Nashville Pussy's a good band. It kind of like a little Motorhead, maybe.
Yeah. Do you ever listen to it's called Punkabilly? It's we did a band.
I don't like that. I don't like that shit. I mean, as much. You know what I don't like, even though I like to play the kind of old style country. I don't like. I don't know what I'd call it. Like kind of the retro acts. It's like. I don't like the guys who just like dress up and kind of act like like it's 1950. Grease up their hair and put on the leather jackets.
That's what Punkabilly is.
Yeah.
Dude's got a
Yeah,
big
I've
ass
seen
bass.
that. I mean, I've seen like, would Reverend Horton Heat be in that category? I've seen him play. He's pretty good. Yeah, he's pretty good. I've seen him play a couple times, but
I
for the
forget
most
band we
part,
did.
mean, the reason I love someone like Sturgill is, he's taking the roots of country and kind of doing something new with it. You know, that's what I.
Mm-hmm.
That's that's the stuff I love. Is because
I can
if someone's-
appreciate that music now. Like now that I don't know. When I was younger, I felt like country music was just like real boring. So even some stuff now, like I guess it is the pop shit. It's just fucking boring.
it
But
really
like
is.
good
and
country
it,
music
and-
has
and-
great
and
fucking music in it.
Yeah, well, it bums me out that that's people's perception, but it also why I'm always like, why shouldn't it be? Because that's what they're putting out there. It's just fucking boring, fucking bug shit. It's more than boring. I mean, it is boring, but it's also horrible. I mean, in some ways,
Yeah.
don't you think boring is a bigger insult than bad?
I think
mean,
so.
like,
That's why I say
Why
that shit.
make music if it's boring?
That's what I tell my girlfriend sometimes because she listens to like all genres of music, and sometimes she'll put the country channel on. Up here, it's fucking 96.5 WXTU, and
Yeah,
I'm
she's
just
the
like,
kind of person.
boring.
The kind of person who's like, "What's your favorite Stones album?" And they're like, greatest hits.
nah, she doesn't like the same kind of music as me. We like a lot of the same music, but I'm more in.
Well, yeah, you
into-
gotta figure that shit out. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm more into like the harder shit that like people
And not a
don't
lot of
hear
girls.
on the
Like,
radio.
when you go see Metallica, ain't a lot of women there.
No, which I guess is a good thing. One time I
I
brought
don't know.
my girlfriend into the
I'm
pit.
sure they would like a little more. I mean, I think they're probably all married, but it's good to have women in the audience because half the world is women, so you want to get them there too.
Oh yeah. Yeah, but
But I'll bet that expanded after the Black album. That's because that was their real breakout. I mean, you're younger. I mean, when that album came out, I remember Metallica was an underground band. They're kind of one of the parts of their story was that like we don't do music videos and we don't do this, we don't do that, and then with the Black album, they're just like fucking. They made the videos and they played the game and it fucking exploded.
oh yeah, I was way more of a Metallica fan at that point than Guns N' Roses and that kind of like rock.
See, I loved Guns N' Roses. They
I was more like into Nirvana, really.
yeah, I guess
Like, right
just
after.
age difference probably. Yeah, I love Nirvana. I saw Nirvana play. It was great.
Yeah. Oh man,
Yeah.
that's like on my fucking wish list if I could turn back time.
Yeah, I saw them play down in. I was in Louisiana. I saw them play in New Orleans.
Wow.
Yeah, it was cool.
Early Nirvana, like before Dave
No,
Grohl
no, I
was
mean-
in it.
No, I saw him play. Probably
After Nevermind.
probably one of their last shows. It was probably like a few months before. Maybe 4 months before he died.
Oh no shit.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. It was kind of a big show, and I was like, everyone was like, kind of their sellouts playing this big place.
Yeah.
It was like a small kind of arena, but I'll tell you what, they filled up that arena, man. It sounded fucking great.
Yeah. Dude, that's what I always heard, that anybody that has seen Nirvana live, they were just like the greatest sounding live band, and their shit sounded like the record.
Yeah, because you thought that they were going to sound, they were going to be like, fuck this, we're not an arena band, they're just going to like act like punks, but they sounded great, man, and his voice sounded great. Everything about it was just really great. It just sounded perfect, and they had a cello player for some of the songs, and it just sounded so great, and
Yeah.
seemed to be enjoying themselves, which was kind of a shocker to me when he died. I'd just seen him a few months before, and everyone looked so happy, and the band sounded so great, and the new stuff and the old stuff sounded fucking killer, and
Yeah, one of my favorites, man. I had a bootleg of the In Utero tour, which was that year. That was part of that year.
yeah, well, I've always been, because I remember smoking a big joint before that show, and I always wanted to hear a bootleg. Like maybe it was shitty, and I just had really good weed, but I don't think weed makes a bad show good. But
Nah, I was enjoying that shit back when I was a teenager and not smoking weed. I didn't smoke weed until I was like 17. All my
Yeah,
other
I mean-
friends were younger.
Kentucky, yeah, you start that shit early, but yeah, they did. I mean, they sounded they were a great band. I mean, but they had some kind of pop tendencies, I guess. I mean, to me, the more shocking band that would make it big is a guy out in that, White Stripes. That to me is more. That was me more. It sounded like just, and I mean it. in a good way. It just sounded like more. It sounded more like just noise on the radio. You know,
Yeah.
when you compare White Stripes to Nirvana, Nirvana sounds like pop, like a pop band, like a boy band or something almost. It's like it's crazy to me that White Stripes and Jack White, gets all that play.
Yeah. He's
I think
out
it's
of
great.
Nashville, isn't he? I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of shit, a lot of rock out in Nashville now.
Yeah, man.
Well, a lot of them are just guys. A lot of them are like rock guys who probably would have moved out, but since Nashville became quote unquote cool, they just haven't let like Kings of Leon guys. Those guys are from Nashville, and I'm sure they would have moved to L.A. or New York, but ended up staying in Nashville just because while they were out becoming rock stars, Nashville became like a cool hip place to live, so they just stayed there.
Yeah, I've never been anywhere except for the states in between here and Florida. I lived in.
I was gonna
Hollywood.
say if you live in Jersey and ain't been to New York, probably in a lot of places you've been.
Yeah, needs to happen, man.
Yeah, get on one of your buddy's tours.
I need to
Go see the country.
We'll see. My we're actually me and my girlfriend are expecting a baby. The day.
Congrats, man.
Thank you. It's actually the day after your new album comes out.
Well, so I'll always remember the date. We both will.
Yeah. You're June 2nd. I'm June 3rd. But he might come June 2nd.
Yeah, those things are hard to get.
Get perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. Who knows? We'll see. Well, cool, man. By the way, thanks for did you put my podcast thing up on Joey's Instagram?
Yeah.
Is that you?
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for doing that.
No problem.
He didn't get pissed that you're like promoting other shit on his thing.
No. He gives me freedom to do whatever I want on there.
I'll bet he has no idea. Yeah.
He looks at it once in a while. I send them like links to different posts that like get a lot of responses and shit. But for the most part, he doesn't go on there ever.
Did people seem to give a shit about my podcast or no?
It seems to me like they would, dude. We got like 1,000 or 2 likes on that post.
Oh shit! I'll have to check
sure.
it. Yeah.
But yeah,
it's weird because I put out my first podcast, which was not a podcast; it was just like a 90-second trailer.
Yeah, I listened to it.
And people are like, "Oh man, it sounds awesome." I was like, "Oh fuck, there's nowhere to go but down from here." Now I gotta do the fucking podcast.
Yeah. Are you recording like? You obviously have at least those 3 recorded already, but are you like doing?
Yeah, we're doing. I'm trying to get ahead
of time. Yeah.
Yeah, I've done like. I have the interviews, and then I'll do like the intro and outro. Closer to when I put it out, but.
Oh, okay.
I'll bet I'll get behind. And then. Who knows? As we get closer to the album, maybe I'll just not have guests for a couple and just kind of talk about the record to try to get people to buy it.
Yeah. What are you doing on like a little tour for this new record?
Yeah, we're gonna do a bigger tour later in the summer, but for album release week, we're gonna do 3 shows. We're doing the night the album comes out. We'll play Nashville at the Exit Inn.
Nice.
That's June 2nd. June 6th. Is that New York? If you're around, I don't know. I think it's Bowery Ballroom.
I'm not sure.
And then June 8th, L.A. the Troubadour, but it's already sold out.
Nice.
For some reason, we're bigger in L.A. than Nashville, which don't explain it to me. But
who knows?
But yeah, we're just basically doing the big cities on that week to try to get some attention, I guess.
That's what's up. Are you gonna do the whole release on Pornhub again and shit? Did you do that already?
We put out our last
one video
on Pornhub, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if we'll stream it on Pornhub. Who knows? We'll have to talk to them because when we do it, they're fans, so they help us out. They'll only do it, if they want to do it again and put it on there. I'm happy to let them have it, but if we put it up there and called it a premature release.
That's perfect.
And they seem to dig it, so we'll see. Actually, I just shot. As I said, I'm out here doing press. I just shot an episode of Ridiculousness.
No shit.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Do people watch that show?
Yeah, I watch it once in a while.
it was like a whole Wheeler themed episode. Actually, it was kind of fun, you know.
Oh yeah, I just saw. You're out there. You should get on. If you haven't already, on The Fighter and the Kid.
I don't
You
know
know-
those. Yeah, I don't want to go. I don't want to call up people who I don't know.
I got you. Yeah, they're friends with Joe. It's Brian Callen and Brendan Schaub, but I just saw an episode of them on Ridiculousness. It was that dude's
Oh,
fucking
yeah?
crazy. Rob Dyrdek. He's funny.
Yeah, it was fun. You know what? Because Rob came into my dressing room. That guy you're talking about. He's just like, I was like, "What's the word here on cursing?" He goes, "Fuck, just say whatever the fuck you want."
Yeah,
And
don't
I
bleep
did.
it out.
And I did, man. I went crazy on it. I was like, ready for them to be like, can you do some retakes? And
They're like, no,
I just fucking went home and they were done.
that's what's up. Do you know when that's gonna air?
I don't. I feel like when he introed my album, he said it's out now, so it must be after my album comes out.
Oh, okay. Like in a month or so. That's cool. Yeah, they must tape ahead of time. They got.
I'm sure they tape way ahead.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, man. That's some good money. That show took less time to film than the actual time it takes to watch it, man. He fucking flew through it. He must have been doing it for a while. He had that shit down.
Yeah. You don't have to sit there and watch the videos while you're there at the show. You just like kind of.
No, they showed it to us to get our reaction. But I'm just saying, he would go to commercial and just be like, they would ask him to do a retake. He's just like, fuck it, let's just keep going.
Yeah.
What's this podcast you're telling me? The Fighter and the Kid.
Yeah, The Fighter and the Kid.
I think I follow those guys on Twitter, maybe from seeing Joe post something about him or something.
Yeah. They're cool dudes.
Do they talk about fighting mainly, or why is it
No.
called-
They talk about anything, and like Brendan Schaub was a fighter on the MMA.
so is that why? So,
And-
so one guy's the fighter and one guy's the kid.
Yeah, Brian Callen's called the Kid. I don't know why, but he's a comedian, an actor. He was in all the Hangover movies and shit.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because there's a bunch of MMA guys who are Wheeler fans who I found out about. One through Joe, this guy Cowboy Cerrone.
Yeah.
Actually reached out to Joe to reach out to me. Seems like a fucking super cool guy.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he might have. He asked you to be on his podcast?
Who?
Cowboy?
Does he have a podcast? I don't even know.
I don't know. I thought I heard of one. Not
'Cause
sure.
I was going to ask him to be on mine, but
Oh.
I don't want to
Yeah,
ask
he
him to
probably
be on
definitely
mine.
will.
Yeah, I talk to him. I'll check in with him every once in a while, but he's a good dude, you know.
Oh.
And I feel bad because I almost need to like study up on. It seems like MMA would be something I'm fucking into.
Yeah, I've been getting into it more as I've been
I just
listening to Joe.
Yeah, I just don't know it that way. It's like it's almost like when you're like your lady friend gets into football and sits there and just don't know what the fuck they're talking. You know, I want to know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I hear you. I don't half the time like listening to the Rogan Experience. He starts talking about MMA shit, and I'm like, what the fuck is? I don't know. He says some weird moves and shit.
The Fighter and the Kid. That's not the guy who says the world is flat, right?
No, that's Eddie Bravo.
Yeah, I like that dude just because he seems a little whacked
Oh
out.
yeah, he actually just came back with his podcast. It's Eddie Bravo Radio, so you can get on there too.
What?
Fuck it.
And tells these crazy fucking theories.
I don't know. I haven't listened to it lately, but back in the day, or back when he was doing it before, it was like he would have like MMA people on, like anybody else.
Yeah, because that's one thing I like about Rogan's is he just he doesn't discriminate. He just lets everyone. It's like from all different sides. He lets them on and just lets them speak their mind.
Mhm.
Lets the audience kind of judge if they're because I just heard him the other day talking about how that guy who he had on, Alex Jones, was talking about how like he was the guest on that week's show was saying that Rogan was supporting him by having him on. Rogan's like, I'm just having him on, talking to him,
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't mean. I mean, I know he's crazy. He's basically what Rogan said. Just like,
Yeah, he was just in
he's
the
cra-
news today.
well, I'm sure. Yeah, I mean, he's a fucking huge guy, but it's like he was kind of like putting a guy on my show doesn't mean I support him. Just like but I like that kind of that kind of thinking, which is
Yeah, open-mindedness and shit.
Make
I've
it
been on
open. I mean, I'm sure he doesn't have. I guess Sturgill, but he doesn't have many country artists on.
Yeah, no.
So.
But fuck it, like why not? Like it's
Yeah, exactly.
interesting,
He was
to
he was
like somebody that.
open-minded enough to listen to Sturgill and to me, and just like, yeah, step on by.
Mhm. Do you would you mind if I used like a song or two from the first record on this podcast?
Oh no, go
'Cause
ahead.
I usually like start out with like a song and end with a song.
Yeah, I always tell people who I do the podcast with that to go ahead and use it because one of the things, I value my independence is I own my music.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So like if someone calls and like it's gonna sue, not sue you, but try to collect money, I'll just be like, no, I said he could have it.
Yeah, that's great, man. It's good to know that you have full control over that shit. I hear a lot of bands that get fucked. They have the fucking
Exactly.
just
That was
tour.
my whole thing. I didn't do it because of this. I did it because so they wouldn't sell it to some fucking M&M ads or something.
Yeah. Next thing you know, you'll be like fucking. I just saw MC Hammer on a fucking these tape strips that you stick to the wall. I don't know.
Jesus Christ. Yeah,
It was a commercial for that, and he was saying all his slogans. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, I got an offer to be in a Carl's Jr. commercial,
Yeah.
and
That
was
I
like,
might
fuck.
do. That's a
Well,
nice chunk of change.
Well, that was the thing is I was like, fuck, I don't know how I'm gonna say no because it's gonna be so much money.
Yeah.
And then the offer they took it back. They probably listened to my music, but
Yeah.
I was actually kind of grateful that they took it back because I was scared I would have said yes and sold my fucking ass out, for money
Yeah.
I would have blown in a year,
hmm Unless you invested that shit, you would have been fucked.
Yeah, I don't invest shit. Yeah,
I live paycheck to paycheck, so I get that.
yeah. I somehow live less than paycheck. I don't even have paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah. You just get money on the random tip.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, man. Well, thank you for giving me your time, dude. It's been almost like 45 minutes.
Cool, man.
so-
Yeah, shoot me a message when it comes out, and I'll tweet about it and shit.
Awesome, brother.
I don't think that helps, but we'll see.
Yeah, it definitely does.
Yeah, you said, and help me with some of the like a Photoshop here or there.
Fuck yeah, man. Anytime, dude. You got my fucking phone number. You
When-
got
when
my
you- yeah,
my
when you
Twitter
put
and
a-
Instagram.
When you put Joey's face on my album cover, man, that was fucking funny.
Yeah. Dude, I just started doing that whole like make like a Photoshop for each episode, every guest that he has on.
Actually, how good are you at Photoshop? Because I have something I do need somebody to do.
I'm all right. If you go on my Instagram,
Are you on your computer? I want you to look up something. You can air this part.
yeah, hold on, let me just turn on the Wi-Fi. I usually turn off the Wi-Fi. We'll probably hear like a couple like sounds. Pull up Safari.
Why you turn it off so it like you don't get
'Cause
like calls and shit?
Yeah, because when I'm on the FaceTime with you, I put it on airplane mode and then I turn on the Wi-Fi. That way, it's just a straight Wi-Fi call and it won't have any of like the normal phone like sounds and shit.
What's AirPlay?
Or airplane mode, you know?
Oh, airplane. Okay.
Yeah. Because right now I have my phone on a little stand plugged in that's next to the microphone so that you can hear me and I can record myself in the microphone.
Oh, got it. So
It's pretty big. So go ahead.
so there's this dude whose album comes out the same day as mine, and I've decided he's my arch nemesis now.
No.
So he's on Sony, and he's got the big money behind him, and I want to fuck with him. This guy Luke Combs,
Luke Combs.
and his album's called "This One's for You."
Is that what I'm looking up on here?
Yeah, I want his album cover. I want to redo it, but I want to make it look. You'll see the album cover. It's so shitty.
What's
It looks
the
like
album called?
It comes out the same day as mine. I think it's called "This One's for You." I just had
saw
one
you
friend.
tweet something on Twitter.
Yes, someone. I'm trying to get someone to change it. It's "This One's for You" to "This One's for Nobody." But what I really want to do is make it look like use that same. Did you see it? It looks like a church window. It's a real shitty album cover.
Still loading here. I never like looked up anything as I was on doing a podcast, so this is a first.
Well, yeah, I'm making you do shit. I'm making you work for your money.
Hell yeah. Come on, Mac. Images. There he is. Luke Combs. Is he just like standing there like next to a brick building?
No, the album cover. No, that's probably not the album cover. This album cover
that
is
might
like,
be the EP cover.
Yeah, there's an EP I think too. I don't want to give him too much play. How many downloads you get a week of your podcast? I want something to compare it to when mine comes out.
Oh,
you know?
you're definitely gonna get way more than me, dude. I've been trying to build this like the way that I started doing this shit, I took a picture of Uncle Joey that he took, and he posted it on Twitter, and I fucking edited it and added, like, he was coming out with Savage Dad at the time. It was one of his albums, and he liked it, and he used it as the album cover. So after that, I started like making his posters and stuff all the time.
Oh,
Like,
cool.
That's pretty much how I got into this shit.
Got it.
What the hell was I saying?
Luke Combs. I think it's called This One's For You.
Yeah, I see a bunch of the pictures of him standing next to a wall.
Hold on. Let me,
Well, you could tweet it to me or send it to me later, like a little link of it.
hold on, I'm gonna look it up. Luke.
I'm on Google too. You would think that there's more. There's one This One's For You,
Well,
and it looks like a fucking stained glass window or something.
Yeah, that's it.
That? Oh Jesus! You
So
want me
that-
to put your head on that?
I mean, that'll be hard. I mean, like that. But by the way,
I could
first of all,
try.
before I get started, isn't that the shitty fucking album cover?
I mean, I've seen better.
Yeah, it looks like a fucking 8-year-old's album. Yeah, I want to figure out a way to make that like Wheeler Walker Jr. and then the title be called "Fuck Luke Combs."
Instead
But
of
I mean,
Luke Combs.
that's not really Photoshop. That would probably just be like artwork, right?
Yeah, I actually did one thing I posted yesterday was Joey like as Homer Simpson, and I just took a picture of Joey's head and photoshopped it on the Simpsons picture, and then I took it and put it in another application that like you can draw and use layers and shit.
Yeah, I
like
wonder if you
that.
can just put a picture of my head on this thing.
Oh, I could definitely do that. I can
And
get rid of
change-
that head and put your head there. For sure.
Yeah, and then I don't know what you would do with the Luke Combs. Just put my logo over it.
Oh, you want like your name instead of his there?
Yeah, and then the title, see where it says "This One's For You." I want to just say "Fuck Luke Combs." Because it's really going to be a battle on the charts, and I want to kick this guy's fucking ass. I heard he's a nice guy, but I don't care.
Hey, I'm down. I'm down for.
This is business,
Yeah,
this
for
is
trying.
fucking show. This is showbiz. This ain't about being nice.
Yeah, I totally understand. I get it. Yeah, I'll give it a shot,
Uh-huh.
man. I'll see what I can come up with, and then I'll shoot it over to you.
Yeah, if you got something, shoot it over to me. But anyway, yeah, it was fun being on here, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much, brother.
All right, cool. Talk to you later.
Peace.
You say we're done. You packed up your stuff. It's really over. Said you've had enough. There's one thing I'd like to say before you leave. Fuck you, bitch. You broke my heart. Fuck your friends, tearing us apart. Fuck your dog, hope he never comes home. Fuck you, bitch, hope you wind up alone. Now you're gone, and I'm by myself, jerking off to pictures on myself. But before I swipe on your face, I just scream, hey, fuck you, bitch, you broke my heart. Fuck your friends, tearing us apart. Fuck your dog, hope he never comes home. Fuck you, bitch, hope you wind up alone. dog. Hope he never comes home. Fuck you, bitch. Hope you wind up